Hello everybody, welcome back to JRE in a nutshell. I'm your host Rafa and it is hot as balls here, probably where you are also. I apologize for the back noise, but the window has to be open, man. It's fucking ridiculous how hot it is. So I hope you understand and I apologize if it's a bit annoying. But yeah, we have to deal with what we have. So this week we have 3 cool interviews, 2 comedians, and we have a quantum physicist. Really interesting shit. Quite heavy, the physicist of course, quite heavy but super interesting, and yeah, we're gonna timestamp it. We have to break it down because there's a lot of cool shit going on all over. Pretty cool. I realized that he recorded, probably Joey's on vacation or something, because he recorded this interview a couple weeks ago. They talk a lot about the sub, this Titan sub, so we know what happened, but during the interviews they're like, oh, what's going on with the sub? So it's going on as they speak. So it was recorded a couple weeks before. So there's a lot of stuff that, yeah, is irrelevant now because we already know what happened. We already know what really happened. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't speak about it. But yeah, it's old news, let's say. So besides that, we speak about the show Succession. Pretty cool. About sharks, about Ari Shafir a lot, about addictions. And this guy, when he comes, a lot about physics, multiverses, and the Big Bang. Did it exist? New information from the James Webb telescope. A lot of cool shit going on. So don't go anywhere. Don't forget also to stay until the end for the quote of the week. And obviously, as usual, give me one of these and like, subscribe, follow, share, whatever, all of those stuff. And yeah, let's get started. So let's start with Brian Simpson. They start talking a lot about this submarine, the Titan. At the beginning, I was like, they were speaking about it like they're reading the news. Oh my God, yeah, they're running out of oxygen and all that shit that we heard 3 weeks ago or something, I don't remember. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? We already know they're dead. We already know what happened. So the episode is quite old. You can ignore that part, of course. They speak about MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the new movies, the Phase 4, the Phase 5, and what the fuck is going on with that. I already get lost. I followed it until Phase 3. But after Endgame, I'm also one of those that exit the highway after Endgame. Because, yeah, everything new is kind of shit. So, yeah. They speak a lot about working out and the effects on the brain when you work out. How do you feel? And this show Succession, how amazing it is. I also watched it. It's fucking unbelievable as well. And news about Sam Bankman-Fried, that 5 charges were dropped, but apparently we were speculating if that was actually corruption, but apparently not. It's because he had so many charges that actually they're reducing the ones that, you know, are not necessary or are too much. Of course, a lot about stand-up. They try some smelling salt. It's fucking hilarious, the reaction.
Okay, this is still sealed.
Oh, man. The rest of this episode going to turn into me smelling stuff.
Bro, this hurts from here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, Joe.
No!
What is it? It can't be that bad.
It is.
Oh, my God.
Pool water.
It's the worst, man.
Yo, this shit is...
This one, Jamie, is so bad. It's so much worse than the other ones.
Holy shit.
I treated it like it was the other ones, and I took a real snifferoo. I got in there deep.
In the package. Like the package that came in the mail, I was smelling through that.
Oh, it's insane how strong that is.
Oh, my God, dude. What the
It's
fuck?
insane.
I don't know.
How could that possibly help you lift?
Why is that necessary?
Imagine, I was thinking do this and go on stage, but I never did. But imagine that one, doing that one. You go on stage, people are like, what drugs are you on?
That was one of the...
Smelling salts.
That was one of the worst things. I don't know if I've ever regretted something so quick.
Where is it, by the way? Where'd you put it? Oh,
It's right
you
here.
have it. Okay.
It's right here.
Oh, my God, dude. That shit... It burned my whole shit, like all up in my sinuses.
And they show this clip of a whale that swallows a kayak with people and everything and then spits them out fucking like in a movie. It's just so crazy. A lot of videos and a lot of media entertainment. Pretty cool interview, of course, funny as hell. Brian Simpson, he's hilarious. And I'll give it 3 nuts. Pretty entertaining. And yeah, go check it out.
Autogynephilia is defined as a male's propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female. It's a paraphernalia paraphilia rather, that is theorized to underline transvestism and some forms of male to female transsexualism.
Yeah.
So that you used to be able to say this. That was like a normal statement. Now that is transphobic, which is really wild because it's been in the psychological literature forever. It's a condition.
It's like
So now let's go with the episode with Adrienne Iapalucci. She's a very funny comedian. I've seen her before, some of her skits, and she's really dark and sarcastic. And of course, that's what I love. I find that super hilarious, and dark jokes and things that step over the conventional line and what already goes to controversial. Basically, reason people get cancelled is what I find entertaining. They speak a lot about Ari. They know each other a lot, so they speak good things, bad things about Ari. There's a big conversation about Ari Shafir, and apparently, I heard from many interviews how he's like India. Either you love it or you hate it, like traveling to India. So yeah, of course, I never met him before, but I guess he seems like that kind of person. But yeah, if it affects his comedy, then that's how it should be, because his comedy is super clean and hilarious. They speak about her past. Adrienne, she had a very fucked up past where her past was so fucked up that she was basically thinking that the world is fine just because. Yeah, it's really crazy, her story. Addictions and parents, abusive parents, and gambling and dog fights. Of course, a lot about stand-up comedy, the beginnings. It's mostly comedy and her story and Ari. So funny interview though. I'll give it 3 nods. Pretty entertaining. She's funny as hell. So yeah, go check it out. So, and now let's go to the timestamp. So this amazing interview with Stephen C. Meyer. This guy's physicist, and they're talking about what happened at the beginning, but he's religious. So of course, it's a very interesting conversation where he kind of bases the Big Bang, or however what happened in the beginning of time, with the hand of God. So yeah, obviously some people say that one has to do with it and the other because evolution and Adam and Eve and all of that stuff. But yeah, nowadays it's not anymore like this. There's been already some time where they included evolution into the religion story. So yeah, now it's going pretty scientific. It's super interesting, the perspective and the opinion. He's pushing the agenda a little bit too much, I think. And there's a couple of times where Joe destroys him argumentatively. So yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. And regardless of what I believe or what you believe in, it's if you believe in God or not, whatever. And I don't think it matters even if Joe Rogan believes in God, because it's just a really pure factual conversation where Joe Rogan is just the devil's advocate, and he's just trying to find holes in the story for academic reasons, let's say. So they start talking about his life, books that he wrote, evolution, Neo-Darwinism, and the fact that everything evolved from one organism, what we believe is supposed to be false. He explains why. It's actually, all right, I buy it, I would say. I will not explain it to you because I'm just gonna sound ignorant. Just go and watch it. I don't have the skills to explain this anything at all. I'm just gonna tell you what they spoke about because yeah, no idea. So Neo-Darwinism and that idea that everything evolved from one thing, and of course the fact that we have time for the evolution to happen, billions and billions of years. Then we have evolving from one species to another. Why it's not possible that the same organism that develop, let's say, mammals also develop birds. So that's not possible. He explains why it has to be 2 different things. It cannot evolve from one that escaped the water and then one flew and the other. That story is not accurate according to what he says. So that's pretty interesting. Then they talked about religion a lot, the censorship of religion, how they destroyed so many books they called blasphemous. And we have no idea sometimes what really happens, the burning of the library in Alexandria, for example, etc., etc. So we discussed that, religion and science, and how they love and hate each other, basically. They talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's obviously against religion, pretty pragmatic. And they talk about why would God create evil if he exists. And of course, the argument is always free will, but free will versus determinism. Determinism is basically the atmosphere that surrounds you. Like, yeah, you can have free will to make good acts or bad acts, but how about if you're born in a poor neighborhood that needs food, then you have to steal. So this kind of argument, free will versus the need to do something bad. Then we move to, is the universe God? Very interesting question, very interesting topic. Was it created or has it always been there? Because now the James Webb telescope, this is a separate article that I read. It's not spoken in the interview, but apparently it's now 26 with double the time that the universe has been created. It used to be 13 billion years. Now it's proven to be 27 or something. So it's the possibility that we're going to keep going backwards until it turns out that it's actually infinite. That's what they're talking about. And the possibility that the Big Bang was never happened or happened so many years ago that is already, I don't know if irrelevant or something like impossibly far away. 27 billion years ago is already fucking big. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm just ignorant. So it's really cool. The Hubble telescope, the old one now versus the James Webb, the new one, and Hawking also, his theory of singularity. They explained that. They moved into multiverses. Very, very cool. What is in a universe, and Theism versus Naturalism. So basically, believing in God versus everything evolved because of nature. And our perspective of creation. Why are we humans the most important being that has been created? What about the other animals or aliens or who knows? All that stuff. The same with God. The perspective that God exists. Is it only for us, for humans? Is it for everybody else? And is religion a cult? You know, we also speak about cults. He tells the story that he always tells about this building that was gonna buy that used to be a cult and blah 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 blah. It's in the documentary. Right down in the description you will find the documentary. And also they speak a lot about the intelligent design versus material design. Was everything designed with a purpose, or did it just happen with evolution? So of course there's many theories where aliens come involved, where God comes involved, and things that are actually theories that say that we were meant to develop this way. And there's other theories that say that no, it just naturally happened with evolution. Nothing was planned, and that's just the way it is. In that case, they also speak about the conscience in animals. If are they also conscious? Because orcas and dolphins are. So they speak up a little bit about that. They move then to language. One of the things that makes us kind of unique, even though other animals also talk to each other, but we have this, he says, this kind of conditional way to speak, like you should have done that, not like, hey, go, do, eat, hunt, whatever, food, reproduction. Is conditionals, future, past. This is also what we were talking with Michio Kaku, that he said that that's what makes us different from animals, that we have a time machine. We can plan in the future, we can think of the past. Then we go to the connection between science and God, and we talk a lot about the Bible, the old Bible, translations, the manuscripts and the scripts, basically religious scripts, because this guy believes a lot in them. So there's the debate, very, very cool debate, where Joe Rogan basically is kind of trying to refute things that he's saying, for the sake of the argument, of course. And yeah, I think he gets him a couple of times where the guy says, I have no idea about this. So yeah, he's a really good debater, Joe Rogan, really, really good one. Then they go to UFOs. Of course, they include that in the conversation. If you're talking about physics, I guess it's part of the conversation. Why are we different to aliens? Are we more worth in the eyes of God? If somebody's more evolved than us, what does that mean for them? Like all of that kind of perspective stuff, pretty cool shit. And they finish with psychedelics. Of course, this guy never tries psychedelics, but Joe goes on a rant explaining shit about DMT, about other kinds of mushrooms. They only speak about DMT and mushrooms. They don't go to any other kind of psychedelics deeply. And he just basically gives a class. Pretty cool. The last, 20 minutes of the conversation is just basically a class on psychedelics. Pretty nice conversation, including church, a religion living in Brazil, where they pray and do rituals with psychedelics, with mushrooms and DMT and shit like this. Pretty nice conversation. I would give it 4 nuts. It's deep. It took me a while it was like 30-40 minutes windows every time I listen because it's so heavy, but definitely worth it. Pretty cool interview. Go and check it out. So, and that is a wrap for another JRE in a nutshell. Thank you very much for looking at my channel. As usual, share, follow, talk to your friends, tell everybody. Is there somebody here crazy enough to watch every second of the Joe Rogan experience and then tell you guys in what I hope is less than 10 minutes everything that happened during the week, so you don't have to waste any time. I hope you like it, and don't forget to stay until the quote of the week. Share me, like me. Here are all of the social media, and I'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
The problem with those edibles, I used to have a bit about it, is they're not consistent. They're not making them in the same place they make Tylenol.
They should.
Yeah, they should. It should be legal. They should all be legal, so we'd know exactly what the fuck you're taking. I mean, how many people have to die of fentanyl before they realize, like, we have to figure out, like, if there's a demand for these drugs, if people want these drugs, maybe it's education, maybe it's counseling, maybe it's drug rehabilitation centers that we need to open everywhere, and then there's a business in that. But you should be allowing people to have access to the actual drug, not coke that you're getting on the street that's cut with fentanyl that's going to kill people.
Sure,
How many people have to fucking die before you realize you're not going to stop people from doing coke with a Just Say No campaign? So what are you going to do? Why don't you let reputable companies sell that and sell pure versions of it and tell them what the fucking dose is it's going to kill you? Let people know what's going on. And then make it so that you have to be 21 to buy it and educate people. Like, we're going to open up the country to legal drug sales. Because if you don't, all you're doing is arming the outlaws. You're giving them money. All the outlaws.
And it's
the people
unregulated.
And it's right south across our border. The Mexican cartels are fucking killing it. And they're not killing it because Just Say No worked. They're killing it because we don't have legal drugs.
Yeah.
So they sell illegal drugs. It's fucking bananas that a problem so obvious. It's like this. It's an uncomfortable solution, but you got to rip off the fucking Band-Aid and you got to make everything legal.